Good morning, good morning. Give me a second here. All right, let's see here. Hello, all you lunatics. Uh, yes, I'm in the Bangkok Mall. Well, they were asking me, the girls here were asking me if the girl was out there because they were a little worried that she was gonna come back. Who knows, you know? Up to her. But we'll see. We'll see, you know. Beautiful day out today. Beautiful. But it will be hot later, like always. For sure. Let's see, why is this set to Celsius here? Ooh, feels like 35 Celsius. Gotta change this over. Let's give it a few minutes here. Across from the canal, next to Bangkok Mall. I wouldn't call it a canal. Even though that's what it is, it's a shithole pretty much. Johnny, what's happening? That should be the name of a song. Johnny, what's happening? Remind me to write one. Johnny, what's happening now? How do you do this here? Celsius, here we go. Fahrenheit. Today we have Miss Beer and Miss Preo as our baristas. What the hell's going on here? I can't figure it out. And yeah, anyway, let's get into it a little bit. You know, I try not to look at the news. We've been talking about this for months. I try not to look, and if I do look, I'm always disappointed. It's 86 degrees. I think it's supposed to be a high of 99 today, 98 or something. No, 92. That's what it is. And but it's quite humid, as always. And the only reason I bring this up is because, you know, I'm thinking of walking from Nakhon Phanom, and I have to do it very early in the morning before it gets hot. But oddly enough, I was speaking to one of the girls here today, and you know, the girl who just had a baby, her name is Tien. She's from Nakhon Phanom, and the girl over here, over there on the left in the brown shirt, Preo, she is from Bungkan, which is where I'm that's one of the places, if not the destination of where I'm going. That's where she's from. I'm like, so I got two people here that if I need any help, so she's already told me very difficult to find a boat on the Mekong, even just to rent it. You know, like pay a guy 2,000 baht and just go up the river. It's not easy to do. Andy House Jail. That sounds like a good song too. Andy House Jail. You're luckier than us in Victoria, Australia. You have nice weather and able to go out and enjoy life. Why are you supposed to stay at home, Johnny? I mean, you have. Is that enforced or what's the deal? When I say, you know, like we're all in the insane asylum, we're all in it. It's just the crazies are trying to run it. You're all in lockdown. Wow. See, I don't want to go through that shit. And I'll be honest, I've been thinking about, you know, what do I want to do? How do I want to go somewhere? How am I going to get around? Where am I going to go? What am I going to see? And really, you know, I went for a nice walk after the stream yesterday, a couple of hours. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, you know, when I'm out there walking, you're out, you know, on a road, maybe you see a car once in a while, you see the river, you're walking along, you know, you got your music on or you don't have your music on, doesn't really matter, whatever. It's very relaxing. You have time when you're walking to let the endorphins build up. You walk along, you know, first you're thinking about all kinds of things, and then you slowly, for me, I always feel the relaxation set in. My shoulders start to go down a little bit. I'm not so, you know, and really, it's not that I'm so tense here, but I just feel more relaxed when I'm away from, you know, I mean, listen, when I stream, once I'm done, or if I shoot a video or whatever it is, once I'm done, I go back home. And there I'm relaxed, pretty relaxed. But you know, you get into that pattern where you're there all the time, and it's nice for, even for a couple of weeks, it's all right, you know. But after a month or two, it's like, man, I feel like I need to stretch out, you know. I need to get out of the box, you know. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna try to walk, but I don't know. I'll see how the next couple days go, because, you know, who knows how it'll be. I don't really know what to expect. And I've looked around on the Google terrain and the street view and everything, and it looks like I could probably pull it off. There's hotels all along the way, which is good. So I might do that, I don't know. But, you know, I was looking into the, where's it at here? What's going on with the bars here. And I was reading this article about how the nightlife is grappling with the new norm, which I hate that phrase, the new norm. I don't care what anybody says, it's not normal. It's not normal to have a mask. You know, when you go out, now I notice that less people are wearing their masks here. You know, there's still a lot of people, they're wearing them all the time. For instance, this girl that's walking in, she's wearing her mask. The girls behind the counter there are not wearing their mask. Just about all the people outside right now have their masks. But when you walk around after a while, you see that there are less people. They've got their mask half down, they got their mask off, whatever. which to me, it's like, all right, whatever, you know, as long as I'm safe, that's fine. But in the bars, it's a little bit different. And leave it to a go-go dancer and her logic to come up with probably what is the most accurate way of thinking of the situation. You can take the BTS train in the morning with 200 people on a packed train, but then you come into a bar and people have to sit 2 meters apart. So I don't know, you know, I'm not about to go and go into the bars just to check it out. Khao San Road is almost never really that busy. It's not all. How is it going to be busy with? I mean, seriously, who's it going to be busy with? There's no tourists here except for the ones who have been lingering behind, and many of them probably don't have that much money. You know, it costs them a lot of money to stay if they are staying. Maybe expats. And you know, if you're not out partying, if you're not there, you know, going from bar to bar and restaurant to restaurant, to me, Khao San Road is, it's nothing like it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's changed. It's not going to be the same again. And they're taking the vendors off the street. Is another buzzkill. Just kind of like they take them off the streets and took them off the streets in Sukhumvit. You know, you do these things, it takes away from the overall feel of Bangkok. The government has staggered the reopening of public places over several weeks, with schools, colleges, and universities officially resuming yesterday. Now, my son is in school. He went in, and they told him that, you know, everybody, they have to wear their mask in class. Fortunately, there's air conditioning in the classroom. But every time they come in, they get their all the students get their temperature checked, which is a good thing. And they have to take their shoes off, and when they get inside the room, they have to wear little shoes, you know, like be like night shoes for chicks or whatever, you know, little something that they can walk around in that's very clean, that has not been outside. So they're not allowed to just walk around in their shoes as they normally would, or, you know, take off their shoes and just wear socks. They're not allowed to do that. They have to wear some kind of footwear, which is, you know, it's just one more pain in the ass. Life is hard enough. Life is a pain in the ass enough. You know, even if you're having a good time, there's things that are a pain in the ass, and these kind of things are irritants. Over time, they're irritants, and you get used to them, and you go, hey, just deal with it. I don't have a problem wearing a mask. I do have a problem wearing a mask. To be completely, you know, straightforward. Be straight about it. I have a problem wearing a mask. I'll wear it because it's what I need to do to get into places. It's what I need to do to remain safe, and supposedly, which I don't even know if I believe that anymore. But, you know, for now, it's the new abnormal. Let's see here. Yeah, no more muddy boots inside. I was at Nana on Wednesday. What is this? First day open. There's no social distancing going on at all. Nothing. None of the girls were wearing masks. Those 22 restrictions were fantasy. And that doesn't surprise me either. However, let me get to this other article that I saw. Where's it at? If I can find it here. Thai nightlife, Kanchanaburi. me see this here. Let's see. Bars, why bars are the perfect place for spreading the coronavirus. Several things, you know, I mean, you would think that, you know, you would understand why. I mean, there's a lot of people in close proximity. But a lot of people, you know, when they speak, and I didn't think of this, because there's music playing, they speak loudly, and so, of course, that makes it more likely, supposedly, if you listen to the experts, that you can spread the virus. Also, people are leaning over to talk, so people are closer to each other. And then, I didn't think of this, is that, you know, people spill drinks. There's, you know, water and all kinds of liquids on the bar. If there's sticky liquids, you know, it just makes for a place. Let me see what it says. Even worse, bars tend to be covered with sticky surfaces from spilled drinks, which are hard to avoid touching. It's dangerous because of heavy breathing in close proximity. And I don't know in the United States if they opened up bars and those bars are, people are supposed to wear masks inside the bar, because I don't think in the U.S. there's not many places where people have to wear the mask, you know. Wear the bar? Yeah, well, listen, if people are getting heat stroke in Japan from wearing the mask, then why aren't they having heat stroke here in Thailand? You know, I mean, listen, some of this stuff is just a bunch of horse shit. They may be getting it, but what I'm saying is Japan is no hotter than Thailand. And certainly, I don't think it's more humid, at least in many places. If you're up higher, it's not going to be more humid and hotter. So I don't know why the hell they would be having all these problems. Doesn't make sense to me. And all the people leaving thumbs down, you're those fucking lunatics in the asylum that are the dipshits who are trying to take over. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these idiots like the woman who, I think she graduated from Harvard, and she's talking about stabbing people. I mean, where are these people coming from? I mean, listen, I'd like to say a lot of things. I'd like to say a hell of a lot of things. not just about the coronavirus. There's a lot of things I'd like to say to certain people. I can't say them. You know. You got to bite your tongue now. You know what I mean? That's the way that it is. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, and I'm being facetious, but when it comes to what's going on in the world right now, this is not a normal, to me, it's nowhere near normal. People are there's something going through people's minds right now. There's some kind of a mass mental illness going on. Because there's just too many people who they're just screwed up, you know. And maybe it's because of the internet. We all know about it. I don't know what the answer is, and I'm done trying to figure it out. Where's Gennaro at? I was gonna just open up for him. Let him see a few things. Experts also reportedly noted that people tend to get intoxicated in bars. Wow, it takes an expert to figure that out, and getting drunk lowers inhibitions. I love that this is such a mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing enlightenment. When you go to a bar, there are people that are intoxicated, and this lowers their inhibitions. So not only does this contribute to guys and girls sleeping with people and then waking up in the morning going, holy shit, what did I do last night? But it also contributes to the coronavirus because of the lower inhibitions. Now, what's so funny is this is on Fox, this article, and it says this can cause people to forget to take planned precautions. In other words, this can cause people to forget to use condoms. Also, younger people tend not to be severely impacted by the disease, meaning they're less likely to be aware of or even contagious. So what's happening is younger people are going out to the bars. They're not wearing their masks. They're macking on chicks, macking on dudes. They're going home with them. They're in close proximity, heavy breathing, not using a condom. And then they get infected, and then they go out and give it to other people and older people. That's rocket science. That takes experts to know this. In recent weeks, clusters of cases have been traced back to bars in college towns, AP reports. Bars near the University of Iowa and Iowa State University were closed only weeks after local governments allowed them to reopen. Now, let me just say that if you're in Iowa, you're going to University of Iowa or University of Iowa State University. You're going to a place like this. And think about this. Maybe your parents, let's think of, what is it? Footloose. Daddy's a preacher or a pastor or whatever he is. Or, the family's a good, law-abiding Christian family. You get out, you get to spread your wings, man. There's girls there. There's people out there getting drunk, partying. So this is another, I don't know where they came up with this study. But you've got these so-called experts coming up with this. They could have just come to me. Come to Scotty. Scotty will set him straight. I'll tell him. I mean, anytime you get young people together, there's gonna be banging. There's gonna be craziness. Anytime you get young people in alcohol, throw in a little ecstasy, forget about it. Bars have been closed in Texas, Arizona, Los Angeles, and parts of Pennsylvania due to the spread of the virus. Bars are unable to serve alcohol on site in Colorado and Florida. In Michigan, a large outbreak that has spread to nearly 140 people across 12 counties has been tied to a brew pub near Michigan State University. Yes, I'm on again. Yeah, I wonder how much the study cost for these so-called experts. They could have come to me for $50. I would have gave them a much more in-depth study. Now, I don't know, I've been talking about this. Does this mean it might be easier to get laid if alcohol is involved? You think? Listen, I've talked about this in the past. When I used to go out when I was young, I would go to the bar, get a Corona or a Heineken or whatever. I would get that. I'd have a shot of tequila. Then I would have another beer. I'd have a shot of tequila. Around that time, I started feeling pretty good. And it was all, then it was like, hey, I got my game on, baby. But that was the alcohol talking, So these people that are doing this study, I don't know where. Let me see if I can find out who did this study. Yeah, here we go. The very first comment, read the study, it's pathetic, maybe 2 pages long. They looked at some data and speculated on the links. Sad. People should be able to do whatever they want to. Go to hell, Fauci. Yeah, whatever happened to Fauci? Fauci's like, he's disappeared. from the public. All right, this is let's see, it says Associated Press, but let's check it out. Oh, it's a CDC figures. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, error. I might be able to pick up this report. Here we go. Oh, well, this is different. Clusters of coronavirus disease in communities in Japan. The study. Conclusions. This is not the one. Viagra is my... Thank you very much. That's a little more information than we really need to know, Andy. Sure you are. It's okay, Andy. If you need Viagra, you know, listen. It's not a big deal. No one's going to judge you. They make it for, you know, they make it for people who need it. And, you know, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. All right, so let's go on here. Kamagra rules. Now, in Thailand, Kanchanaburi Park, it is actually the Sinakarindam National Park in the western province of Kanchanaburi has been rescinded, the ban on foreigners. Now both foreigners and Thais are welcome to enjoy the park. I gotta say that for all the cries of racism that go on in the United States, and while there is racism in the United States, there's racism everywhere. We can agree on that, I think. There's racism just about everywhere. It may not be blatant in some places, but it is there. Does that mean it's systemic? No. It means there are always going to be people that may not think like others, like the mainstream wants you to think. Go into prison and see if they care about racism. You know, it's a joke. Here in Thailand, I can tell you that the government, while they may not think of it as racism or discrimination, they are extremely discriminatory. Now, do I think there's anything wrong with that? To be completely honest, no, I don't. I don't always like it. You know, I don't like the thing that it's, you know, yesterday Soy Dog sent me this article about, let me see if I can find it. Andy, don't delete it. You got to keep it, man. We know now. The word is out. It's like you're trying to hide it. You don't need to hide it, dude. Let me see if I can find this this article. I don't know where the hell it is. What Soy Dog, if you're still here, do you remember the periodical that had this article? Hang on. I might be able to find it. Oh, thank you very much there, Johnny Cyan. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, all the ones that I see are way back in September. September 9th. Here's March 16th. This is Farang pricing for coronavirus testing. This is back in March. Yeah, but you're sending it in. I don't have Line on my, it's on my phone, so I'm not going to be able to get it. Just tell me the name of the periodical and I'll be able to find it. if you would be so kind. Thai public hospitals can now legally charge foreigners. You see, so please don't tell me about racism. Remembering that you will die is the best way to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Okay, I guess. I never forget I'm gonna die. I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China. Maybe it's just me, but I never forget that I'm gonna die. You know, time is not infinite when it comes to human life. So, you know, I don't know what that means. The double pricing they keep saying the Thais have is subsidized from taxes or whatever. Yeah, I don't buy any of this bullshit. I mean, to be completely honest, again, you know, listen, they're trying to get as much money as they can, and I think this is going to harm them in the long term. Now, I could be wrong. It's only my opinion, of course. But you know what? If you look back at some of the things that I've said 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago, most of them have come true. You know, I try to keep a little bit in touch with what's going on here and the trends and the way people feel. And I'm a little out of touch because I'm getting older and I'm not hanging out with young people or anything like that. But aside from my kids, which, you know, I don't know everything they're doing. But I would say that, you know, this is going to harm them in the long run. People don't like this shit. You know, hey, it's just went to Palayu waterfall. They charged me 300 baht. I think now it's 400 baht for exactly. It's just waterfalls and a few ropes. Yeah, I mean, you know, what they're doing is they're trying to price themselves to the point where, hey, we're just like Singapore. We're just like the United States. We are not a place that people can think, hey, you're going to come here and you're going to get a bargain. This is a place where you have to spend money, and if you don't have money, you can't come here. That's kind of their mentality, and I've been saying this for a long time. I've said they want to change over to be more like a Singapore type place where, you know, it costs money to live there, real money, not, you know. Hey, you can still get food and rent here for cheap, and labor relatively cheap. But when it comes to their attractions and things like that, man, they just rake you over the coals. I mean, think about going into a gym here is $60, $70 a month. That's, you know, that's not cheap. And, you know, I was watching a show yesterday, and it was in Tahiti. And I thought, wow, I wonder how the prices compare from Tahiti to here. And while some things were quite a bit more expensive, there were a lot of things that were cheaper in Tahiti than they are here. There's a mall with an entry fee. Listen, if they start charging me an entry fee to get into a mall, that's when I do all my business online. And then if they start doing it, you know, to where you got to pay to buy something online, you have to have a membership to buy something online, then it's time to stop. I just, you know, the nickel and diming you to death is just too much. What's the name of that mall, Sasha? Do you remember? Let's see here. Let me see if I can put this up here. Maybe I can. All right. Here's something right here. This is from quite some time ago. dual pricing at Thai public hospitals, and the implication on foreigners. This was announced on August 30th. The introduction of the new law will come into effect September 30th of last year. Despite the first impressions, the new pricing structure may well be a confident and positive step forward. This is from a page of an insurance company, as it regulates and clarifies hospital fees for medical procedures in public hospitals under the provision of the Ministry of Public Health. Three-tiered based approach to medical charges. Tier 1. Under the new regulations, the first tier price structure is specific for Thai citizens and those from neighboring countries such as Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Myanmar. They will pay relatively the same for medical procedures. The second tier price structure will be applied to expatriates, namely foreigners in Thailand who are working and paying taxes with the appropriate visas. The third tier of charges and highest in terms will apply to retirees and tourists. Yeah, that bugs me. Strict regulation and compliance applied across the public health system. The law forces all public, might be the Venezia Huahan, form the public transparency. So they want transparency. So in order to have transparency, you have to have three fucking tiers of prices. No, you know what you do? You have one price for everybody, and you make it transparent. That's what you do. You don't fuck people around, especially at a hospital. You know, I understand it's a business, but there's also ethics involved. And I know several doctors who would treat people for absolutely nothing, or for dirt cheap, because they wanted to help them. It doesn't seem like they give a shit about that here. And let me tell you that the last time I was in the hospital, and I'm not talking about the doctors, I'm talking about the administration of the hospital, was horrible. Absolutely horrible. They tell you one thing, and then when they bring you the bill, it's completely different. And then they say they're going to take care of it, and then what do? They give you like a... What was so funny is I used to get a 15% discount. Now one day they came to me and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but your discount, your VIP card is no longer good here." I'm like, "Why is it not good?" "Because you're a foreigner." I said, "So if my wife gets a VIP card, then it's okay for her and our kids?" "Yes, sir." I said, "But not for me." And so I bitched and moaned, and they said, okay, shh, don't tell anybody. And I'm like, yeah, okay, no problem. Just give me my discount. And so then the last time that I was in the hospital, I don't even remember the numbers anymore because I wanted to forget them. To be honest, I wanted to forget the whole experience. But because, first of all, because for the first 2 days they kept telling me that they were going to do surgery, and did I have the money? And I said, yes, we have the money. I have to transfer it. It'll be here in an hour. In an hour. In an hour. I wait for them to come back in and tell me, okay, you're going to go into surgery, in another 45 minutes or whatever. I'm waiting. I call them up. I said, when am I going in? I'm like, I'm in pain. A lot of pain. I need to get this taken care of. Sorry, sir, the doctor, he go home. I said, well, call him back. Cannot. Okay, so there's a whole day. Shut down the toilet. They had the doctor there. They were going to bring him in. They said to me, transfer the money. I said, yeah, just okay, I will transfer the money. I transferred the money. We transferred the money just like we were supposed to. And what did they do? They sent him home and they charged me for the whole day. Right? Then they charged, the next day comes. They did the exact same thing. I don't remember what the excuse was, but oh, doctor, you have to go home. You have to go home. I said, well, get him in here. It's just that second day in a row. Cannot. Okay, cannot. So then, you know, like, then I'm like, hey, listen, you put me in here. Really, all I should pay for is the medicine. And really, I shouldn't even have to pay for that. I'm like, I'm in here. You said that immediately I was going to have surgery, and then you didn't put me through until the third day. So I said to them, you got to give me this discount. You know, you got to give me a discount. And they came back and they said, okay, we give you 20%. I said, 20%? I said, you always give me 15%. So you're giving me a 5% discount. That doesn't even cover one day. Oh, sorry. They came back again. I sat there and I had to go into a meeting with these people. There was like freaking 15 or 20 of these people sitting in a room. I'm in my little skimpy bath outfit or whatever, you know, my little hospital scrubs, garb. And I'm sitting there, you know, miserable, in pain, thinking to myself, you know, and I just had a stent come out of my ass. A stent, you know, a metal stent come out of my ass. And I've got to go in there and talk to these people. So imagine you're sitting there, you're in pain. They're jerking you around on the price. And then they put a stent in and the stent comes out of your ass. And you have to go into a meeting with them and talk to them and tell them exactly what happened so that they can decide if they'll give you a discount. And I was like, I'm not paying you. I don't give a shit what you do. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not paying you. You guys are screwing me. And fortunately, there was an old guy in there and he sided with me and he was just shaking his head going, like, you fucking idiots. And you could tell he was very intelligent, very well spoken in English. You know, it was like I felt like he was on my side. He was the one guy there, and all these other people are sitting there writing something down, and they're nodding their head up and down. Ooh, cop, cop, you know, nodding up and down, going like this. So when I get out, I'm like, okay, whew, I feel better now. Everything's gonna be okay. And then they brought me the bill, and it was 20% discount. I'm like, no, it's not enough. You give me a 15% discount. You give me 5%. What the fuck? So you got to be very careful with these hospitals here. Granted, this is a private hospital. But, you know, there are some things that, about Thailand that rub me the wrong way. And the hospital system, while they seem to be good the majority of the time, you know, you got to deal with the administration, and there are times when they're not always good. And you know, like when I went into, actually, I don't think anybody really knows this story about the context behind it, but I was going to Borneo, like on a, just say it was a Wednesday. I was supposed to go to Borneo like Wednesday night at like 11 o'clock or something. And at like 3 o'clock, I start having a problem with my eye. And I can't see. And I'm like, something's wrong, I can tell. And I'm like, I gotta go photograph this fight. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. So I go to the hospital. I go to Waitangi Hospital. I go to the eye doctor and I said, hey, look at my eye and everything, it's all red and blah, blah, blah. The lady's trying to stick a needle in my eye because she sees a little dot in there, and she's like got a needle and she's trying to pick at my eye, and I'm like, what are you doing? She said, you're gonna have to come back and see a specialist. I'm like, I can't come back. I gotta leave in a few hours. Oh, sorry. I said, yeah. So I talked to my wife. We called up Bumrungrad. And I went in, and, you know, like 2 hours later, I was in Bumrungrad, and they had brought a specialist in to see my eye. The doctor goes, oh, you got like an eye infection. He goes, you need some drops. I'll give you some drops. I was like, okay. Put the drops in. Immediately, my eye felt a little bit better. By the time I got to Borneo in Indonesia, my eye felt a lot better, and I was able to photograph the fight. But that's the kind of experiences you have, and I mean, I'm sure it's not just endemic to Thailand. So when I see the problems with dual pricing at hospitals, that pisses me off. The national parks, that pisses me off too. I don't like it. And you know, I told a story a long time ago about how. Let me see something. Is there anybody still here, or is this thing working? It's hard for me to tell right now. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. I went to some national park. I think it was in Krabi or near Krabi, and yeah, I think it's like they have like fossilized clams in the stone that's right next to the ocean, and it's supposed to be this big deal. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. All right, oh cool. We'll go there. It's right on the beach, and you know, there's some little mountain thing there that you can go walk around. I'm like, cool. We get there, and it was like, you know, it was like 800 baht. I don't know what it was. It was like 300 baht. 300 baht to get in, or 30 baht for Thais. And of course, you know, they charge my kids, you know, they charge them their price. They get the Thai price. My wife gets a Thai. Everybody there gets a Thai price except me. My wife's like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, pay for all the tickets. And I go, no. I go, fuck that. I don't need to go in there. I was like, I'm not going. And I told the guy, I said, listen, you know, I told him in Thai, what's the problem? You know, why are you gonna do this thing? It's, you know, they have the right, if they really want, they can charge you what they want. He was like, no, you have to pay like Farang price. I went, all right, I'm not paying shit. You're not getting anything. Fuck off. So that's a bit of an irritant. Now, you know, if it's a place that I must go to get in, it's a little different. You're kind of forced to pay it. On the other hand, at the ancient city, you know, they have dual pricing there, but I went in and I started speaking Thai to the woman, told her, you know, hey, this is my family, and okay, no problem. They charged me the Thai price. So they were good about it. But you know, it causes ill feelings. And it's not necessarily the money. It's not that it's all that much money. It's the whole principle behind it. So please don't talk to me about discrimination or racism or whatever, because I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't care. It ain't that bad. It's not that bad here, and it's not that bad in the United States. And they're making up excuses back there. I just saw that they're actually putting before, let me see here, I gotta look at this. This is June 24th. Let me see here. Oh, God. Now they're calling to make Black Lives Matter a political party. Refund the community. The United States has never gotten far on whether or how to compensate African Americans for slavery. Now support is growing. I'm sorry. Not really. I don't give a fuck if they want reparations or not. They're not getting shit out of me. I'll make sure I never pay 1 cent to the U.S. government when it comes to this garbage. Let me see something. California State Assemblywoman Shirley Weber introduced a bill last year to study reparations for African Americans. She was worried when she introduced the bill, she was worried people wouldn't accept that racial inequality and injustice were still alive and well. Listen, there may very well be racial inequalities. I guarantee you there is racial inequality against Caucasians as well. Not only blacks, not only Native Americans, not only Asians, not only Latinos. It's all across the board. It happens. We're different tribes. Now, Shirley Weber. She's 71 years old. And she is black. Imagine that. Now, who's going to pay this? Where's this money coming from? Is it coming from all the people in the United States? Is it coming from other blacks? Is it coming from only Caucasians? What are they going to do? Latinos have to pay for it? What about Latinos who fought in, Mexicans who fought Mexican-American wars? What about all the Native Americans who fought against, the cowboys and the military back in the day? This just opens up the biggest can of worms. It's just garbage. Now, of course, there are people that don't think it's garbage, namely Democrats. When the bill came up for a vote 2 weeks after the death of an unarmed black man, George Floyd, at the hands of a white police officer, it spurred a nationwide reckoning on that very topic. It passed the assembly on June 11th, by a 56-5 vote. It's wrong for them to charge us more in national parks, I agree with you. However, I do like the sentiment behind it. Taking care of your own isn't a bad concept. The West has forgotten about this entirely. I will agree about that. I will agree. However, and I'm going to say this, and I don't make any apologies for it, nor will I. Considering that I have children with a Thai citizen, and they are grown, I've put my share of funds into Thailand's coffers, more than many, many Thais ever put in their life. And so, why is it that I need to pay more? I got a family here. I am a, they make it extremely difficult to get permanent residency here. And I would never give up my U.S. passport, at least at the moment. I can say never. So then what is the point? America's problems are rooted in economic disparity, not racial bias. Better health care and social system for all, regardless of color, would solve many of America's issues. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not just as simple as saying, well, we better cure this and it's going to be okay. That's, it's not that simple, and you're dealing with different states, and not all of them think the same way. It's just like having 50 different countries. Misinformation from the mainstream media is another huge problem. You think? Defund the police, screw that. How many defund the corrupt mainstream media? I saw something pretty interesting. It's, when you see someone who's crying about how, defund the police, oh, we don't need the police, and then somebody, beats them up and steals their gold watch, who's the first one that they call? The police. When they get beat up or their house gets broken into, who's the first ones called? The police. We can fund reparations by selling more Uncle Ben's rice and Aunt Jemima's syrup. The facing those two products make me cringe. You know which one really bothers me? Is the Land of Lakes butter. Really bugs me. I mean, those bug me too, especially Aunt Jemima and Uncle, they both do. They all do. Land of Lakes, they had the Indian sitting there, doing whatever. I don't remember how he was sitting there cross-armed or whatever. And now they have like a really plain logo. I'm like, you know what? Now here's the other thing. Let me see if I can get to this, because I'm not well prepared today. Let's see here. If I can find this. Opinion today. No, that's not it. Where is it? Okay, what the hell was I thinking of? Oh. Here we go. Stadium sponsor, which is FedEx, tells the Washington Redskins to change their name. FedEx Corporation on Thursday asked, now wait a minute, did they tell them or did they ask them? See, that little word is a big word. The stadium sponsor FedEx tells Washington to change their name. Now, in the first paragraph, the very first line is, they asked the Washington Redskins to rename the NFL team following protests against racial injustice that have shaken the United States and pushed many companies to increased efforts to combat racism. Yeah. The team plays at FedEx Field after a deal in 1999 gave the company naming rights to the stadium and other marketing rights. In 2003, Fred Smith, FedEx's founder and chief executive officer, acquired a 10% stake in the team and joined its leadership council, which is similar to a board of directors. We have communicated to the team in Washington our request that they change the team name, FedEx said in a statement. The team, based in the nation's capital, and its owner, Daniel Snyder, have been under pressure for years to change the name, which is a pejorative term for Native Americans. And so is honky. Doesn't mean people won't say it. What is a honky tonk? Pejorative term for white redneck. Protests spawned by the killing of George Floyd while in Minneapolis police custody have already led to the toppling of statues. Yeah, right, that's what led to it? Get the fuck out of here. Ugh. Please, get out of here with this bullshit. And spurred the state of Mississippi to remove the Confederate symbol from the state's flag. In June, FedEx fired an employee who took part in a counter-protest caught on video that mocked the killing of Floyd. In a statement at that time, it said, "We stand with those who support justice and equality." I find this a little hard to swallow. They're going to tell the Washington Redskins they need to change their team name. Let me see something. His name is Thomas Black. Let's see here. Imagine that. Let me see if I can find him. Can't see here. Thomas Black. Can't find the guy. Anyway, doesn't really matter. All those in favor of changing the Washington Redskins to the Washington Native Americans, please stand. And you know what really gets me is they say that the protests are peaceful protests. Horseshit. Protests spawned by the killing of George Floyd. Wait a minute. When Tony Timpa and many other Caucasians are killed by the police, do you see the Caucasians running around tearing down statues? No, you don't. These fucking people are animals. That's how I look at it. They're fucking animals. And they're idiots. Listen, I'm going to say it again, and you know what? I just figure, what the hell? I might as well just lay it out there. What happened to George Floyd by the police officer will come out in court. right or wrong. I don't believe there was any reason for that police officer to keep his knee on that guy's neck to the point of him dying. He did have drugs in his system though. So, you know, what exactly was the cause of death? Because you have two different coroner reports. That said, and I said this in the beginning, and I've said it many times before, instead of blaming the police and tearing down everything, how about we get real? How about we say, hey, wait a minute. Police officers, first of all, I've always thought if I was going to be a police officer, I better be a bad motherfucker. And by bad motherfucker, I mean like you are skilled in boxing, you are skilled in jiu-jitsu, you are skilled in whatever it takes to apprehend pressure points, joint manipulations. You better be extremely skilled, and you are training on a daily basis. It's part of the becoming an officer. Not a once a year thing or twice a year thing. You need that. And they need to train them mentally, the police, to understand that most of the time, you don't need to kill somebody or seriously injure them in order to stop them from doing something. But, you know, I think the vast majority of cops are decent people, decent cops. Hey, like I said, Gennaro, first of all, when is it that you know, here's the thing. Are we living in a time where people are guilty and proven innocent, or are they innocent until proven guilty? I said, I believe there was no reason for that officer to keep his knee on his neck to the point where the guy expired and passed. I don't think there was any justification for it. That does not, however, mean that they should go out and protest and rip down statues and kill people and open up stupid places like Chaz or Chop or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't think that there's any justification. I do think, though, that there is due process. In the United States, it's not perfect, but I dare say it's damn good. Most of the time, it works fairly well, especially if you got money. You know, I don't know what to say about that, but what I think that kids need to be taught, not only African American kids or blacks. I mean, I might as well call myself an Irish American. French American, Russian American. Which one do I call myself? You know, if you're going to call somebody African American, what are you going to call them? South African American? Mozambique American? Ghanaian American? Where is it? Anyway, I digress. There is due process. You got to give the due process. However, the kids, I can tell you, at least my kids, I know, they're not going to get lippy with some police officer. They're not going to be mouthing off. And even if they did say something that could be construed as a smart-ass remark, I think people need to be taught from a young age. It's not okay to just mouth off to a cop, not do what he tells you, fight him all along the way. And then when he tries to arrest you, for whatever reason, it's not okay to fight back. Now, I'm not saying George Floyd was fighting back, but there have been several others that have fought back. And yet nobody talks about this. Hey, why don't you teach your kid not to fight back and not to mouth off to some cop trying to do his job? Because if it was me, I'd be like, hey, motherfucker, I'm out here every day putting my ass on the line because dickheads like you always want to test me. So, you know, when I finally snap and go off on you, you shouldn't cry about it. You should think about it beforehand. Listen, as much as I may not like being pulled over by a cop or pulled aside by a cop, and I've talked about it. I've been pulled aside here in Thailand. Give me 1 second here. Having some internet problems with my laptop, as always. I would never dream of fighting back with. I mean, where does this mentality come from? Is it the lack of a father figure in the house? What is it? It's the morning rants. Now I can't get my internet to work. The Wi-Fi's not working. What's up with that? Well, it's working on the phone, so that's really all that's important. The court will have to find all of these police officers involved guilty because there will be a revolution. See, Gennaro, I think that's the wrong way to think about it. I think the court needs to not give a shit about what the public thinks, because the vast majority of the public doesn't have a fucking clue when it comes to laws. They may think they do, but they're not lawyers. They are not judges. So I think the best way to do it is to put the blinders on and to not worry about what the public wants. I mean, if that were the case, you know, O.J. Simpson would be in jail for the rest of his life. Now, do I think O.J. Simpson did it? Yes, I do. But, you know, the court thought otherwise, and I wasn't there. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all the facts. It's as simple as that. Okay, now we're working again here. I think it's wait a minute. They've been the Redskins for years. I believe there's even an Indian tribe who calls themselves the Redskins. I know it, man. All right, let me refresh this here. The court will have to find. Okay, I think it's a setup for them to be found innocent. I'm no expert on American justice, but they don't seem guilty of second-degree murder. Well, yeah, which comes to another point, is once they try them for that, if they find them innocent, you know, what are they going to do? They're going to try to retry them? I mean, and here's the other thing. The people involved, in my opinion, the guy with his knee on his neck, I forget Chauvin or whatever his name is. To me, he is the guilty culprit, because these other guys who are just standing there holding a leg or whatever, they may not have known he was dead, you know, or he was dying. They could have hurt him. Yes, they need to be punished if the facts support everything. But I mean, you know, yeah, this is what I mean. I think that it's like there's two factions in a loony, in an asylum. Not a prison, an asylum, an insane asylum. A psychiatric ward. Okay? That's what it is. There's two forces, the opposing forces. You have the idiots on one side, and they're crazy as hell. They believe anything. They're like, you know, their big toe is their messiah. And then on the other hand, you have people who are still a little bit crazy, and they're willing to do whatever. And then they are battling it out to see what's up. This is the problem with social media. Everyone thinks they're right. I just had an argument about the origins of the word picnic. It turns out these digital ego warriors hate being wrong. Well, I think they can't accept being wrong. listen, I don't know where the origins of picnic came up, but I'm sure you could find it on the internet. And you know, you could probably find it from a credible source if you really wanted to. And yes, you're right though. Listen, I got a voice. If I didn't have a voice, if I wasn't here, I probably wouldn't have a voice anywhere else, you know. But then again, you know, you have to remember that. You have to remember that opinions are like assholes, and everyone has one, and they're not going away. Well, I don't know, there might be some people out there who don't have assholes, but they still have opinions. Looks like our girl hasn't shown up. They're saying that the last time she came on a Thursday, yesterday was a Thursday, and she showed up here. So maybe every other Thursday she'll show up here. I'm talking about the brawler. So you know that's you know, I've said this for a long time. The internet is a blessing and a curse. You know, it's fantastic for me. It's fantastic for people who like to use the internet for positive things, and you know, or somebody like me who like sucks up all the negativity from the news and then wants to shit it out, because that's about what it's good for. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but there was at least one person who got arrested that was bitching and moaning about having to leave, and the cops arrested her. Good for them. And you know, the thing is, if I was living in that area and something happened with my business or something, I'd be suing the hell out of them. They're freaking idiots. That mayor needs to be booted out of that. She needs to be booted forever. I was listening to someone this morning and said the internet should be swift off for 1 week. That's not a bad idea. I don't have a problem with it. The mayor suggested they should pay. Who should pay? Seattle should pay? She's a fucking idiot. How do these people... Listen, I don't think I'm a genius, but I can tell you that if you have a police department, it's there for a reason. I wouldn't want to be president. Now, of course, Trump is constantly being bashed. Can you imagine what it's like to have millions and millions of trolls? Millions! And some of them, they want you dead. Imagine that. I'm here on YouTube, and I got, you know, maybe 25 trolls, 50 trolls. You know, they rotate some of the time. Sometimes there's multiple ones at one time. And it isn't that bad. But you know what? If you have millions of them, well, the thing is he's the troll in charge. And that's what people in America don't want to acknowledge. They hate the fact that he was voted in legally. They have no evidence of anything otherwise. And now they are just, listen, I can't stand, you know, it makes me hate these people even more because they never let up. They never stop. Nancy Pelosi, what does she ever do where she says, yes, I would like to work with President Trump. We can work this out. I think we can get something that's good for everybody here. She never does that. What about Chuck Schumer? He never does that. It ain't gonna get better. And if Trump wins the election, whether he wins or not, it's just gonna be hell to pay in the United States. And let me tell you something. He's not gonna be around forever, even if he does win. And I'm fucking deathly afraid to see what America could become. Which is why I'm damn glad I'm not there. I would love Trump's job, then people would know what's really is happening. Oh, yeah. Joseph Smith, thank you very much. The Black National Anthem. Fuck me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Can I play a white national anthem? Fucking pieces of shit. NFL plans to play the Black National Anthem before Week 1 games. Lift every voice and sing, known as the Black National Anthem, performed live or played before every game in Week 1 of the National Football League. A source familiar with the league's discussions told CNN on Thursday. Ugh. Can I have a white national anthem? Why can they have a black national anthem, but I can't have a white? And you know, I have nothing against black people, but I do have something against this, and this is reverse racism. Shaft. Ah, that's great, man. Yeah, I'm not his biggest fan either. I mean, there are times when I'm rolling on the floor from some of the shit that he says. There are times if you notice him, he likes to say things 2 and 3 times. Now, I don't know that is something that maybe he learned, when he was studying how to speak publicly. I kind of doubt it because he's not a very good speaker. But he always does that. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I heard you the first time. I don't need to hear it over and over again. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you didn't talk about being black, I wouldn't really give 2 shits. I wouldn't even think about it. I got better things to do with my life. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'd rather be on the fucking edge of the Mekong with Laotians and Thais and the occasional tourist and myself, and hey, who knows, maybe 1 or 2 of them might even be blacks. I don't give a shit. What does it matter? But you know what? Oh wait, hang on a second. The anthem for the United States, the national anthem, it is what it is. There is no difference, white national anthem, black national anthem, Latino national anthem. There isn't. Well, why do you think I turned the camera? I can't zoom in. Sorry. YouTube's gonna have to pay a little better to where I can get a wonderful setup with actually, I'm not gonna say a word. The British are far too obsessed with social class where Americans are obsessed with race. It gets old. Yeah, I mean, listen. I don't get it. Thank you, Victor. I wasn't gonna say anything, but you know what the old saying is: good from far, far from good. At least she's wearing her mask. There's the lovely Preo from Bangkok. Bangkok. Go for it, Victor. Have at it, buddy. Yeah, the Black National Anthem, that kind of pisses me off. The whole thing about Chop and Chaz, that pisses me off. And then you got this guy, and I still don't know the whole story, and I just, I haven't dug into it. The guy who spoke with President Trump and his son was killed at Chop. Now, he's 19 years old. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know the whole situation. But what the hell is he doing there? Why is he there? To where he's going to be in a position where he can get shot by somebody. Why did he get shot? And what was he doing there? If you live in Seattle, the last place you want to be is in fucking Chaz or Chop. You don't need to be there. Now, if you're some dimwit who believes that it's a just cause, then I guess you're gonna be there. But why was this guy there? And why are they making such a big deal? Because he was 19? I thought he was 16, but okay, whatever. I heard yesterday 19. So he's a 19-year-old kid. He got killed. It's not good. Of course it's not good. But what the hell was he doing there? I mean, you know, they've got a representative on Fox News talking to Hannity about it. I'm like, what the hell? Like, the last thing I want is some fucking representative there. If I'm going to say something, I'm going to be like, man, I'm going to say it myself. But he had some representative there with him. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? What kind of situation is this where you've got to bring your representative and you've got to, you know, he was perfectly capable of talking about it. And then, like, I'm like, what is Hannity interviewing this guy for? What is the... People die every day. But you're giving this kid all this, his death, all this coverage. Why? Oh, because the police didn't show up. Wait a minute. They had their own police there. They had their own setup. That's what they wanted, right? Wow. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. I don't understand that either. And what are they going to do? You know, you're not allowed to come in because you're white. And, you know, there's the photography thing where, oh, if you're a non-black photographer, you're going to have to pay to Black Lives Matter. Fuck you. Get fucked. I mean, sorry. Go fuck yourself. And if they ever become a political party, oh my God. I don't want to hear it. I'm glad I'm out of there. That's what it seems like that's what they want. You know, they bitched about being segregated, and now they're bitching because they still think they're you know, they bitched because they because of segregation, and now there is no segregation, and they're headed in that direction. Why is there a black entertainment? What does it stand for? Black Entertainment TV? Let me see something. God damn it. No. Black Entertainment Television. American pay television channel targeting African American audiences. It's owned by Viacom. Now, can I have a white entertainment television network channel? Can I do that? How about we do a GoFundMe and start a channel called the White Entertainment Television? See, you know, if you're going to differentiate, then you might as well just say, okay, well, we're different, but, you know, there's going to be equality. If you want to have one, you can't have the other. You can't have black without white. You can't have, you know, you can't be allowed to do things saying, this is, I'm proud of my heritage, and then not let other people and their race, and not let others be proud of their race. Of course, that's white supremacy. That's the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I don't know. I don't watch MTV. Listen, I watched MTV back in the day when they first came on, which was what, 1981, 1982? I watched the very first video, what was it? Was it Video Killed the Radio Star, or was it the Fish Heads, or which one was it? When did it start? I can't even get a straight answer for this. Okay, 1981. 1981. August 1st, 1981. Yeah, they played that Space Shuttle launch countdown, and then they played Video Killed the Radio Star. And then Pat Benatar, You Better Run. The screen, this is going to come off funny, but I think the screen went black frequently, when an employee at MTV inserted a tape into a VCR. MTV, their lower third graphics that appeared near the beginning and ending of music eventually used the recognizable Cable typeface for about 25 years, but those graphics varied. On MTV's first day of broadcast, they were set in different typefaces and included information such as the year and record label name. Now, I mean, I don't know, because I don't know what, now here you go, look. They played a lot of rock and roll, ranged from new wave to hard rock. Adam Ant, Bryan Adams, The Pretender, Blondie, Eurythmics, Tom Petty, Culture Club, Motley Crue, Split Enz, Prince, Ultravox, Duran Duran, Van Halen, Bon Jovi, Rat, Def Leppard, The Police, and Cars. How many of those, you know, these are all white groups. No, there was none. Now what is it? It's the opposite. It's all in the opposite direction. Whatever. Again with the double standard. White entertainment sponsored by the government. Who would have thought? But you know, they could have called it. They could have at least, you know, called it. Why is it that Charlie Pride? Come on. They didn't. I don't know when they started playing Charlie Pride. What is this? I find the word black to be offensive, mister. I prefer African Americans, sir. I'm sorry that you're offended, but that offends me. Then it says that they started playing David, but no, I like Charlie Pride. I haven't heard him in a long time. I haven't listened to him in a long time, but hey, listen, I gotta tell you guys something. I did not know this. Actually, I did know it, but I didn't really know if I could do it. I wasn't sure. And I looked into it a little yesterday. If you do not monetize your channel, or if you monetize it rather, if you want to monetize it, what you can do is you can put music or a video clip or something, you can upload it to YouTube and put it in private or unlisted, and then wait about an hour, and YouTube will check to see if that song will allow you to be monetized. Now, if you're not monetized, it will also tell you, hey, if you put this up, you're going to get a copyright claim, or you're going to get a strike, or whatever. It will tell you beforehand, which makes it a little bit easier. So yesterday, I've been listening to this song. What the hell was the name of it? God damn it. It's called Electric Worry. It's by a group named Clutch. And it's not a diverse group that I can see. They're all Caucasians, but you know, I didn't make it that. I didn't make the band. You know, it happens to be the music I was listening to, and I don't know how I stumbled upon them, but I stumbled upon their music, and man, what a badass tune that is. Blues, rock. They got harmonica. They got a badass guitar riff. Good beat. Great song, and they got some other good songs. I've listened to them a little bit, but so I wanted to see, hey, maybe I can put this at the beginning of a stream when I'm at home or in a video or something like that, and just not monetize the video. Sure enough, I put it up, and they said, no, you can't. Immediately, I couldn't even, as soon as I put the video finished processing, it said, sorry, ineligible to be monetized. It said, but don't worry, you will not receive a copyright strike. This is a copyright claim. So if you do monetize, you have to share the revenue, which I understand, but it said this one you can't do that. So it's ineligible, you can't monetize at all, which I didn't care. The good news, long story short, is that I can put music up, test it out, and then if I want, if I can monetize and share it, then great, I can do that. But if I can't monetize and share the video or the music or whatever it is, I can still play it. I just won't receive money for the stream or the or the video, which that happens once in a while now where I don't make any money from it, so what does it matter? If it makes the stream better or the video better, then it's a good thing, you know. I'll be chiming in with Miss Shanae occasionally. Shanae. I like Shaquanda. I don't know. Bill Smith is a pretty, I'm not gonna go there. Kind of like Somchai. It's bad. But anyway, so that's a good thing. If I can put the music up first and test it out, which is a little bit of a, you know, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to put the music up just to double check. You can verify it in a private setting or unlisted, like what I did yesterday. I verified the song. I can put it up. It's just that's how people are doing this. That's how they're getting away with it. So it's Somchai top 40. Songchai or Somchai? Songchai was a famous boxing promoter. He's old now, and his son is, I don't know if his son is still running the business or what the deal is, but it's one Songchai. He used to put some big Muay Thai events on back in the day, but that was a long time ago. Anyway, so, you know, I highly suggest, let me see if I can find something here. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, man. Let me see here. Here we go. I'm going to give you guys the official link. God damn it. Give me a sec. Here is the link to the song. There you go. Great song. I like the guitar riff. I like the harmonica. The guy who plays harmonica gets into it. He's pretty funny. But great song. And anyway, so I thought that was pretty interesting that, hey, there is a chance I could use copyrighted music, especially if I don't monetize. It'd be much easier. So look forward to that. Because maybe I'll be playing some rock before streams or during the streams or you know, in the videos. I may be playing some more stuff. We'll see. Anyway, you know, my trip is in 4 days. 4 days and counting now. I can't wait. Let me see if I can get a little... Here we go. Get a little goodbye. 4 days and counting. It'll be good just to get away to someplace different. Doesn't even really matter where it is. You know, Pattaya was nice. I had a nice time there, but something about being alone and on the road, nothing can beat it. You know? Let's just sit here and enjoy the sights and sounds. Hey, you know, Willie Nelson had, speaking of Willie Nelson apparently, I don't know if they're his sons or his, you know, what they are, but I believe they're related. He's got a song out, which I don't, I think it's Something Real. Let me see. Remember Me? Is that what it is? No, no, that's not it. What is it? Lucas Nelson. It's called, yeah, and Mika Nelson. Mika. What's it called? Shit, I wanted to find this song here for you guys to. God damn it. Let's see here. Hello was Turn off the. They have a song called "Turn Off the News," which I don't know the song, but I'll listen to it. What the hell's the name of it? God damn it! It looks like Willie's been busy, huh? He's got lots of kids, eh? Looks like the one son kind of looks like him. What the hell's the name of that song? It's going to drive me freaking nuts. Hey, John S., thank you very much. What is the name of that song? Damn it, I was listening to it yesterday. Thank you very much, John. Give me 1 second. All right, I found it. There you go, Gennaro. One more for you. Let's see here. That's the song. Another one. It's a good one. That was me, Gennaro. I don't know, you're saying you heard of her. That was me, man. I can't tell yet. I'll give you the approved or denied. So far it's leaning towards approved. But that's the other song, though. And she's singing this song to you, Gennaro. Will you still love me tomorrow? I don't know. Kind of hard to make a judgment there, Gennaro. But I'll say, knowing you, approved. Come on. All right, it's time to skedaddle. She's still this. They're both still keeping an eye out for this chick. Oh, did they lock up already? How come they're open? Oh, it's Friday. It's Friday, so the mall opens up. It's Friday, so the mall opens up at 10:30. Oh well. Enjoy your day. I'm out for now. All right, Mr. Mitch, you take care of yourself. Everybody else, take care of yourself. Stay safe. Do your thing as much as you can. And what was the name of that song? The song that I was just talking about, the one about the news. Turn off the news. Yeah, turn off the news. Let's turn off the news. That's what I believe Mr. Longhorns has done. He's turned off the news. He's incognito. So anyway, it's been grand. And I'll talk to you guys later, all right? See you soon, whenever. I don't know, I'm not sure. Could be tomorrow, I doubt it. I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore. I got the wrong table here. Bye. Bye. Chicken my. Chicken my. Chicken. See you guys later. They gave you the little wave goodbye, Gennaro. That was all for you, babe.